There's something novel about taking a car that makes absolutely no sense at all and just driving it around the streets of Los Santos like you own the place. I mean, it's 2023 and I'm already feeling like I have at least 5 snipers trained on my position. That's why a lot of us tend to drive something along the lines of this, the Insurgent, which itself may be a car that is 8 years old as of recording, but it still poses as much of a threat as it did back when it came out. Yes, with the rise of the Heist DLC back in 2015, Grand Theft Auto V had a major upstart in the online arms race. With a snap of the fingers at Rockstar Games' headquarters, suddenly the feeling of ultimate power went from trying to make a cringe video about infiltrating Forts and Kudo to just being able to whip out the phone, dialing in a number, and then hoping to holy hell that Pegasus doesn't glitch out for the 568th time. That being said, the availability of all this firepower really gave rise to a completely different player base than what was present before. Nowadays, most people who quit GTA Online will say something along the lines of, I don't play anymore because ever since they made that flying bike, the game just went to shit. Ooh. Well, newsflash, sunshine, we've had power struggles all the way back since 2015. In fact, I'd have to say it was even worse back then. We didn't have explosive snipers or rival aircraft that could hinder the thing. You just had to be a man and learn how to be a world-class dogfighter so that you could take the antagonist head on, so that session could be at peace and allow the other kinds of players to drive around in things that mattered more to them. Or should I say, ride on. Yes, the Faggio is a cult classic in the world of 3D GTA, being one of the oldest vehicles in the franchise. Starting with the standard edition, all it was back in the beginning was just a low-powered scooter that could be used in many a roleplay server to remind the filthy casual noobs that they had a very long way to go. But that's kind of what makes it so charming. It's a scooter that's slow, has no armor at all, and has very little use case scenarios. But it more than makes up for that by its ability to shitpost. Get a PvP kill using one of these things against someone who's actively trying to kill you, and you'll instantly get insane respect. It's like,
your brother, he's an amazing man. Who else could shoot down 2 F-16s
while riding a Faggio and then doing a Fortnite dance while the pilots cartwheel into the nearest body of water? And of course, thanks in part to the Bikers update, not only did we get the ability to bitch slap people as we rode by, we also got not 1, but 2 new models of the Faggio, meaning that people already a fan of humiliating, sweaty, basement-dwelling, Discord moderating tryhards could do it in style.
This plane's going to Miami!
But if we're to talk about style, it would be a crime to neglect talking about possibly the biggest kind of community that there is, the car fanatic. Look around on Discord server listings and there's a good chance that you'll come across a dedicated community whose sole purpose is making the cars of Grand Theft Auto look absolutely bonkers, as well as parade around in them. Before the release of the Los Santos Tuners DLC, car communities would be found pretty much anywhere on the map. Popular locations like the parking lot in the middle of the race course, the loop around the back of the Galileo Observatory for drifting, the Los Santos International Airport for drag testing, and the Del Perro Pier for just hanging out, to name a few. But come the Los Santos Tuners DLC, the thrill of a meetup in a dangerous place having to defend the motor festival from jet griefers in a moment's notice just went away. The Tuners Underground changed everything. It was safe, it was a fitting scene, and there was music. But at the same time, it all got a bit samey, you know? You couldn't really take anything that you wanted into the meetup either due to size restraints or Pegasus, and the things that you could ultimately do in the meetup were much more restrictive than if you were out in the open. You were much better off making a private or a glitch public session and then taking advantage of the limitless creativity that can be had in a game like GTA Online free mode. That being said, the Los Santos Tuners DLC also attempted to fix a then ongoing issue at the time: the lack of any sort of proper drift cars or setups for cars. And I say attempted because really, even though limited grip tyres were added to the game and they helped, without mods there's still no proper drifting to be had in GTA 5 and online. What with automatic transmissions and cars in the game being programmed in a way to actively try and avoid drifting as much as possible to make the car's handling as accessible as possible to every kind of gamer. Let's face it, most people who play GTA 5 are much younger than the legal age to drive, never mind have the understanding of traction, oversteer, understeer and all the other nerdy crap. But GTA 5 is a game that's been adapting to the needs of the ever so changing user base over its 10-year history, and will very likely act as the foundations for what's to come in GTA 6. But it would be ignorant to ignore what GTA 5 has. GTA 5 isn't exactly Stone Age after all, far from it. It popularized the kind of vehicles that people drive around to roleplay, like the tow truck. One of the first utility vehicles you get to drive in story mode, players get to live out the very low standards dream of being a tow truck driver. I mean, who really dreams about that? Come on, just dream higher, dude. And it was great for those who actually dreamt of it. But why has the vehicle never been in GTA Online? Well, to answer that question, let's do a little experiment. How many tow trucks can a tow truck tow? So after some testing, it would seem like the theoretical number of trucks that you can tow is rather limitless, though I did find that for some reason the game engine likes to come up with any excuse at all to let go of the last truck at the end of a 10-truck line. I mean, it does make sense, but that doesn't really explain why it hasn't been added as an official vehicle in GTA Online. Probably something to do with glitches, or maybe it would cause lag or something. Anyways, now that we've got a line of 10, let's take it out onto the street, shall we? Yes, I have to turn very slowly, otherwise the trucks end up whipping around all over the place. Out of the way, bozo! Wow, for some reason the performance of this truck has increased significantly. Oh. And now for a quick message. First of all, thank you very much for watching the video up to now. Secondly, I've completely nuked and refreshed the Discord server in preparation for a new and fresh community for Pyro Gaming. I plan on doing stuff like get-togethers, group chats, questions and answers, weekly competitions and activities. You'll be able to use the channel for finding groups to band with for heists, talk about games other than GTA, as well as possibly, maybe, make an actual friend. It's also a great place if you want to hunt down free games that come by on Steam as well as other platforms that you'd normally have to pay for. If you're interested, check the link in the description for the link to the Discord channel below, and I'll see you there. Alright, back to the video. Other utility vehicles to play around with include things like the fire truck, which works about as good as you'd expect at the minimum, and then there's things like the ramp truck, which unfortunately, because the developers at Rockstar Games are all just a bunch of white-collar suit-wearing tax dodgers, they have no concept of fun. Therefore, vehicles like the ramp truck are left forgotten and abandoned. As is also true for the semi-trucks to a lesser extent. There are a few semi-trucks in the game that can be used as designed, but looking for an actual trailer that you can actually tow and play around with, and also isn't just a static prop as part of the map, can be a bit of a pain to say the least. That being said, however, as a result of numerous DLCs, trucking has been made a little more enjoyable for those willing to look the other way in terms of "this is stupid, this would never work in real life"-ness. Like the Phantom Wedge, which upon contact with any other vehicle will send them flying into the next postcode. And the Mobile Operations Centre trailer, which literally recreates the TARDIS from Doctor Who, being larger on the inside than the outside. And then there's the sheer ridiculousness that the Arena Wars vehicles have to offer. While the DLC as a profitable thing to do was seen as, well, very unprofitable indeed, the DLC itself as a whole was actually very fun and enjoyable to play if you could actually get into a game. And the abilities of the Arena War vehicles were just as crazy. I mean, you had the standard Nitro boost, which was cool in itself, but then they had the option of adding weapons, mines, and physics-defined side boosting. The side boost is interesting. It's a simple premise. You shift on an X-axis relative to the car's rotation, which allows you to ram everything to the side view, which is cool and all. But then if you roll the vehicles on their side themselves, then side boost, learning to do this is rather easy to begin with, but given enough practice and no social life, people like Saucy Cakes can keep a side boost fly indefinitely, and even use it to the point where they can competently PvP jets with it. I'm not even joking. But with all of these new vehicles being added over the years, it's easy to forget what we had starting off in the game back in 2013. Things like the Journey. The original Journey, not the one that was re-released and just let people put a paint job on it. That's just lazy content, Rockstar. The Journey, one of the original meme vehicles, with horsepower in the tens, suspension that is as rocky as a boat in the high seas, and a design that just screams drug addict. The Journey is a vehicle that can also have its fair share of fun in unique ways, like trying to get one up Mount Chiliad. Okay, first obstacle, the rock ramp. Here we go! No, shit, no, no, God damn it, no, oh, fucking, shit, no, God, oh my God, please stop rolling, no, oh my God, oh, finally it's over. Yes, we really did have to make our own fun back in the day. Thankfully, because we weren't so blindsided by all the weaponry and the armoured vehicles, and we really could appreciate some of the more simple things in the game. Things like the BMX. Yes, the BMX is a bike that even today is still in use. They make for a great stunt compilation video, and despite their low speed, they can actually come in rather handy for navigating the tight back alleys of Los Santos if one needs to. It also helps that GTA 5 has a plethora of skate parks to make use of. Need to take a break from all of the contact missions and are waiting for a cooldown on a delivery run? Head to the skate park on one of these things and see what hilarious positions that you can position your character in after you inevitably fall off. Though I do have to argue that the skate parks and the physics engine for taking advantage of them pale in comparison to that of the likes of GTA 4. Grab a Fazio and head to a half pipe anywhere in the city and watch as you can not only get some great height, but also have a great amount of control going back down onto the ramp. It's almost as if you're a pro BMXer, or in this case a pro motocross dude. But that was back then, and this is now, leading us all the way back around to the Insurgent. It's kinda hard to really play GTA online if all you want to do is drive around in a fun sports car that has no defenses, no weapons, and no countermeasures. Either you have to drive around in a solo session to enjoy your vehicle, or drive around in a car like the Virtue. With Imani Tech you can negate all missile lock-on, and the only thing you really have to worry about is people who actually know how to aim, and those are hard to come across. Mind you, the Virtue is the best of both worlds. It's got countermeasures, armor, and it's one hell of a car to drive. Not just one hell of a car to drive that's got Imani tech, I mean it's one hell of a car outright. You know, that being said, the Virtue isn't the only thing out there that can be used for defense while simultaneously being used for fun. Take the Vigilante for example. The back end can be used for many things. 360s, launching across the map, launching vehicles, launching humans. And then there's things like the Scramjet, which specialise in skill-based air-to-ground tactics, which can be very satisfying to pull off. But whatever you decide to roam around the streets in, it's always good to know that whatever you choose to ride in and whatever you choose to do with it, there's going to be someone out there that will camaraderie with you, like driving a journey backwards across the map because you notice that can you cross the map challenge videos are a thing, and you try to replicate but no one gives a shit, but along the way you notice someone flying an Oppressor Mark II and prepare to kiss your butt goodbye, only for them to ask if they can tag along. Now it's moments like this that make the game very special, only to then get your ass blown up and then everyone who tagged along goes out and gets revenge in your favour. I guess things never really change. Anyways, I thank you all very much for watching me talk about cars and stuff, and I'll see you next time.